Hey guys, and welcome to our channel. So, if you are new here, welcome, welcome. My name is Sade, and I am the owner of Third Generation Conjure. So, if you don't know who we are, Third Generation Conjure, we are a spiritual company that specializes in spiritual services and supplies to help you along your spiritual journey. Most of our supplies are catered to the practice of hoodoo and conjure work, and this is a company that I run with my mother. I also have some other family involved with our company as well, including my husband. But overall, our goal is to help you to elevate yourself spiritually. So before we go any further, make sure that you like and subscribe to our channel. And also, you can find us on Instagram, which is Third Generation Conjure, TikTok, which is the official TGC, Facebook, which is Third Generation Conjure. We also have a Pinterest, which is Third Generation Conjure. And if you need any kind of spiritual supplies or services, you can find us on our website, which is www.thirdgenerationconjure.com. So, for this video, I wanted to talk about attraction working. Okay. So, we have an upcoming ritual that is happening on February the 29th, which is the leap ritual. So, the magnetism ritual. And the reason why we chose to do this particular ritual on a leap year is because a leap year is rare. It happens every 4 years, okay? And you see leap years as an opportune time for kind of like doing quantum type leaps, jumping into a new reality, okay? And that's what our focus is for this magnetism ritual, okay? So, what is magnetism? Magnetism is an attraction ritual, okay? So it is a ritual that is used to kind of make you magnetic to attract the things that you desire within your life. So, when people think about attraction rituals and things of that nature, what a lot of times comes to mind is like love workings, okay? Now, of course, you can use any kind of attraction to, attract a person, attract a relationship, attract love in that type of manner, but that's not what this is all about. It's kind of like prosperity. When you hear prosperity, what do people think of initially? They think of money, okay? But prosperity doesn't have to be money. It could be love, it could be um, good health, it could be, finances, but it's not always money. And that's the same thing with attraction. So when you're doing attraction workings, that's to bring things to you. Okay. So, for this particular ritual, we're working with that aspect. Okay. So we are focusing on what we want to attract into our lives. So, when I have talked about this in previous videos and, in previous content, but attraction work is a particular condition, okay? So when we talk about conditions, conditions are different aspects that we work on, okay? So if you have something like uncrossing, that's a condition for uncrossing. You have protection, that's a condition for protection, okay? So with this particular working, we are working on attraction workings, okay? So, when you hear conditioned oils or, conditioned baths, spiritual baths, that's what that's referring to. So, if you're new coming in, I just wanted to, point that out because I have, a lot of people that might be confused coming in, especially if you're new. But for my most seasoned people that have been with us for a few years, we thank you that you're still around. You know exactly what I'm talking about. Okay. I haven't been on here much lately because I've been pretty busy, but I'm trying to carve out more time so I can be kind of more hands-on, like I have been in the past. But so I want to talk about some ritual prep and how you prepare for rituals. Now, I used to do videos every time I did a ritual. I did a ritual prep video. And I actually stopped doing that because I kind of felt like a lot of the things that I was saying was kind of like being redundant. But all in all, I think it was something that actually helped people. Okay. So, I think that's something that my goal is to get back into doing these types of videos for you guys. Okay. Just so we can go through and we can, kind of talk about each working and what each working is for and how you can see the most optimal results. Okay. Now, if you are participating in the ritual, you don't have to do nothing I tell you to do. Okay. You may still see results, but the reason why I tell people to take steps is because you tend to see more optimal results. Just like I tell people, if you establish a relationship with your ancestors, you're probably going to see better results than someone who does not have a relationship with their ancestors. So your results might vary from someone else's. Okay. And I want to talk about that too. I actually got out of kind of, I still post um, reviews, but I don't post them as much as I used to. And that's typically because, I try to keep people protected from the evil eye. I do that anyway with all of my reviews. It's just a little bit extra work that I have to do. But one thing about it, when you are in a ritual, especially a collective ritual, you have a collective energy. So if you are in this ritual, and it's power, there's power in numbers, and there's power when you get a group of people that are on the same accord, that are put in the same intention that, hey, this ritual is going to work, this ritual is going to produce results. Okay. So if you see someone else that participated in the ritual as well, and you see me post a review for that, and they have a win, just because you may not see a result initially, it's important to be happy for that person, because you got to understand we are all one, the law of one. One of us win, all of us win, okay? And what you'll notice too, when you are being, if you're able to be happy for the next person, then you'll see that things start opening up in your life, okay? Because the purpose of a group ritual is for everyone to come together as a collective to um, help each other manifest their desires. Okay. So I just want to be clear on that. So just because you see, okay, somebody had a result before the ritual even started, and maybe you haven't seen the result in a couple days, make sure that you're recognizing that, okay, hey, if it's working for them, then it's going to work for me. Okay. But also, it's important to understand, like I stated, that there are steps that need to be taken. Okay. So I always tell people, when you're coming into a ritual, make sure to take a spiritual cleanse. We have the magnetism ritual prep bundle that you can get, and that's to layer your work and to also make sure that you're properly cleansed when doing this ritual. But, even if you don't get the prep bath, I always tell people to make sure to take a spiritual bath of some sort, whether that's uncrossing, whether that's something like a white bath, a van, even if you don't have the means to get a spiritual bath, you can take a bath with sea salt or coffee. Okay. That's an all purpose bath that you can utilize as well. It isn't, you may see more powerful results when you layer your workings, which means put in layers and doing additional workings of the same kind. But, you know, taking a bath with some sea salt or some coffee is better than no spiritual cleanse at all. Okay. And I also made a post the other day about protection work. Okay. And this is something that I haven't talked about in a while, but something that I have talked about a lot in the past. And, like I said, if you've been around for a while, you know me, and if I don't talk about anything else, I talk about how important it is for protection. So, protection work is something that is a boring type work that a lot of people see. And the reason why it's boring is because it's usually a work that you don't see working. Okay. And me personally, I've said it before, I don't want to see my protection working. Okay. I don't want to be uh, barely saved from an accident when I can just avoid that completely. Okay. So I don't want to see it working. I just want to be protected. Okay. And, also, when you're talking about protection work, I would always say keep that work in rotation. Okay. Because just like you're doing manifestation work, you're doing this magnetism work, you can get things, but the goal is to keep these things. Okay. I like longevity. Some people like fly by night results where they get these quick results and then they don't last, but I like longevity. And when I work for longevity, I mean, like, if I'm doing some money work for you, I would rather you wait 2 or 3 weeks or a month or 2 months before you see a result and you get a six-figure job offer versus someone bringing you $200. You know what I'm saying? So when I petition, I'm always petitioning, and the energy that I'm working with is for long term results. Okay. So, with that being said, make sure that you're thinking for the long term. Okay. Also, make sure that you are, once again, following up with your protection work to make sure that whatever it is that you're attracting, that you are keeping it, okay, and you're holding on to it. Also, like I talked about the spiritual cleansing. The purpose of spiritual cleanses and condition baths are to cleanse you from anything that may be affecting you from manifesting. Okay. So let's just take a money drawing bath, for instance. So if you're taking a money drawing bath, you are cleansing away anything that is preventing you from receiving money. Okay, same thing with this magnetism. So when you're taking a magnetism bath, you are cleansing away anything that is preventing you from attracting the things that you desire within your life. Okay. So once you do that cleanse, you're removing things from you. You're removing any kind of negative energy. When you're removing energy, you want to replace. That's where your conditioned oils come in, okay? You can put a little bit into your lotion, anoint. Okay, so with anointing yourself, if you are attracting things to you, you want to start anointing from your feet and move upward towards your head, okay? If you are removing something, if you were doing uncrossing, okay, and you were anointing with uncrossing, you want to start from the top of your head to the bottom of your feet, okay? So, for instance, if you're taking your bath, you want to take that bath and pour it over you from the crown of your head to your feet. And I know a lot of people like, I don't want to get my hair wet. If you want to sprinkle a little in the crown of your head and pour it in a downward motion, going from the top of your head to the bottom of your feet. And then when you're anoint, since we are attracting with the oil, you're going to move going upward, starting at the sole of your feet up to the crown of your head. And I hope that makes sense. Okay. So, cleansing, that's out. Okay, so petitions. Now, I am going to provide a sample petition, and this is just so you can know how to write a petition. But especially with this type of work, you are doing attraction work. And so you can do something general like, I'm attracting good fortune in my life, I'm attracting good health, but also kind of sit back and think about it and think about what it is that you want to attract, okay? Because a lot of times what happens is we go to doing all of this work and we really don't know what we want, okay? So we're speaking in general terms. Oh, I want to attract money. Okay, but you get $100. Okay, that's attracting money. You're not being specific with what it is that you want. Okay, so maybe you say, I want to attract a minimum of, you know, $10,000 this month, whatever the case may be. But anytime you're doing petitions, spirit knows no concept of time. So you want to speak as if it has already happened. Okay, so you can say, I always give a format like I, Jane Doe, born February the 29th of 2024. I thank my ancestor, source, and spirit for opening up the doors to limitless abundance for me. Okay. I attract opportunities easily and effortlessly in my career, in my finances, etc. Okay. So you write it as if it has already happened. And that's just something general. But, let's just say you're working on attracting a house. Okay. So you're like, I'm living in my new home that is 4 bedrooms, 3 baths with a study in Birmingham, Alabama. Okay. So that's just an example when you want to be really specific. So really think about what it is that you want. Okay. And that's how you'll see that you'll have um, more, what's the word? Powerful manifestations. Also, I want to say this too. A lot of times we sit there and we think about how something's going to come to us. I have had vision boards where I put trips on it or something of that nature. And I used to sit before I, evolved a little bit more. I used to sit and think like, okay, I want to go to Bali. Okay, let's just say I want to go to Bali. And I put that on my vision board, right? But then in my head, I'm thinking like, how much does the trip to Bali cost? How much does the flight cost? I need to make this amount of money to go here. When that's not how you should be manifesting. Okay, you should just say, hey, I'm taking a trip to Bali. I'm putting my pictures on this vision board. I'm visualizing it. I'm feeling it. I'm putting it on this vision board. It's going to come to me. Okay. You may not have to pay a dime for a trip to Bali. Okay. I have done that before where I put a trip on a vision board and my husband booked the whole trip and flight and everything, and I didn't have to, we're married, so of course our money is connected. But, technically out of my money, I didn't have to spend anything. Okay. That was something that he went and took care of. So just kind of make sure that you're not blocking your blessings because you're trying to figure out where it's coming from. That's just like if I'm doing uh, money work, right? Or something of that nature. Okay. If my husband go closes a business deal, guess what? I'm benefiting from that too, even though it may not have necessarily come to me. So that's just an example for you guys to kind of, just be aware with your manifestations. Make sure that you're not limiting yourself. Okay. Also, I'm going to provide you guys with some Psalms too. Okay. So in the practice of hoodoo and conjure work, the Bible is used. Okay. So the Bible is very powerful. Okay. Because the Bible holds energy, regardless of whatever belief you have, it does hold energy. So there are particular Psalms to utilize for this particular work. And so when you're utilizing Psalms for your workings, you can pray this over your baths, okay? You can pray it over your candles, things of that nature. So, I have provided a ritual prep um, ebook for those who have purchased the prep bundle. Okay, so and that goes through preparing your candles, praying over your candles, taking your spiritual bath, dusting with your powders and things of that nature. Okay, so just tidbit. If you haven't been utilizing Psalms or any Bible verses in your work, and just try it out and see how it works for you. I guarantee you'll see a good result. Okay, so I also wanted to talk about because we talk about attraction work, and so a lot of people look at universal laws, okay, which I think are important. Okay, we got the law of attraction, and that's a give me. Everybody talks about the law of attraction. As you think, so you are. What you surround yourself with is what you attract to your life. That is a spiritual law, but it's one of the minor spiritual laws, okay? You also have things like the law of assumption, the law of detachment, okay? So when you look at the law of attraction, that is thinking positive thoughts, okay? With the law of assumption, it's like you already know that it's coming. You don't have any doubts about it. You're just like, okay, I put my order into the universe, I put my order in the spirit, and it's on its way, okay? You don't question that. You don't, like, once again, you don't question where it comes from. You don't go out looking for results. You just let things flow and you let things happen. And I know sometimes that's hard to do, but that's the important that comes in with cleansing. Okay. I also recommend people do things like, meditation work. Okay. That's also good to kind of keep your mind from blocking yourself, okay, or constantly looking for results. Because what you do is when you're constantly searching for it, a lot of times what you do is you end up blocking it. And then as soon as you forget about it, then it shows up, okay? And then you might not even realize that that's your work working because you don't forgot about it. But, that's what comes with the law of detachment, okay? And that's detaching from an outcome, okay? Everything that I have seen that I have manifested, whether that is, if I go do some candle work, if I do some journaling, if I do a ritual for myself, if I do a vision board, a lot of the things that I see manifest are things that I have no vested interest in, right? So I might say, hey, like I talked about the trip to Bali, I might say, hey, I want to take a trip to Bali, and I put it on my thing, but I'm not overly attached to it. It's just like if I go, I go. If I don't, I don't. It's kind of like I detach from that. I know I'm going to get there, but I'm not even trying to figure out how I'm going to get there. So, just pay attention to that and you'll notice the things that you don't really focus on so much are the things that come to you. Okay, that's just like you'll see people who want to be in a relationship so bad and they that's all that they think about, that's their primary focus, and most of those people you see are alone for years. Okay, I know a couple of them, but as soon as you're like, I'm focusing on myself, I'm just going to love myself and focus on myself. I'm going to focus on my children if I have them. Then what you'll notice is someone just comes out of the blue. And that's when you're not looking for it. Okay. Because when you're so stuck on it and you're trying to hold on to something so much, it tends to kind of slip away and kind of you push it further out of your reach. Okay. Because you're coming usually out of state of desperation. Desperation, you're not going to be able to manifest anything. Okay. So, also, another thing I tell people is to give an offering to your ancestors. Okay. So, in this practice of hoodoo, the ancestors are the backbone of this spiritual practice. So before you even get into other things like if you're into working with deities, or if you get into like working with orishas, things of that nature, I always tell people start with the ancestors. They're your first line of defense. But it also kind of helps you to form a relationship, because even if you're working with a particular spirit, a deity, a saint, your ancestors, you have to have a relationship established. You don't just come out asking. That's kind of like you being a stranger asking people for something. So you want to establish a relationship by veneration. Okay. So, like I stated, I always tell people to start with their ancestors. Okay. And also that will help to also heal your bloodline, also help to heal any kind of generational traumas that you may be still carrying within the bloodline. That's kind of cleaning up your bloodline. But, with rituals, I always tell people to, give an offering to your ancestors. Thank them, ask them for their guidance and for their assistance. Give them an offering. And an offering can be, putting clean flour. If you got an altar, putting clean flowers on the altar. Okay. Putting clean water on the altar, cleaning your altar up. It can be sitting there spending time talking to your ancestors. It could be a cup of coffee. It could be a food offering. It could be pouring libations. It could be all of the above. Okay. So, also give an offering to your ancestors and build a connection with them. Even if you can't have an altar in particular, speak to your ancestors, talk to them. Okay. If you're in your car by yourself, have a conversation with them. I'll tell you that it will make a complete difference, and you'll see a 360 in the way that your things and your works work. Okay. Also, be consistent, guys. Okay. Anytime when you're doing, you know, attraction workings or anything of that nature, you want to make sure that you're taking some inspired steps. I'll go back to the example, because I've been using it the whole time, a trip to Bali. Okay. We'll go with that example. So let's just say you're manifesting that, but you don't have a passport. Okay, so you know that you can't go on that trip because you don't have a passport. So what are you gonna do? You're gonna take inspired action. You're gonna go get that passport because you know that trip is coming. Okay. So because guess what? If you say, hey, I'm not gonna get the passport, then don't expect that trip to show up, because even if it shows up, you can't take it. Okay. So that's just an example of taking inspired action as well. All right. So, just make sure that, you try to follow those steps. And, anytime I tell people too, when you start taking taking a spiritual bath, make sure make sure that you take it in a span of at least 3 days minimum. Okay. So typically you take a spiritual bath 3, 7, 9, 13 days. If you're doing like heavy uncrossing, 13-day, 13-hour bath, at least try to take it minimum 3 days. So, we're doing a ritual on the 29th. So if you want to take it, the 25th, the 26th, I mean, the 26th, the 27th, the 28th, that's fine. The 27th, the 28th, the 29th, the day of, that's fine. Just try to take it, at least 3 days prior to the ritual. And, I've seen people say too, like, I'm in a ritual, I shouldn't have to cleanse. But okay. I mean, like I said, that's your prerogative. But if you want to see results, then, you would do what it takes. Because one thing about it, too, your energy affects the way that things work. Okay. So, like I said, you can go get the same candle, be in the same ritual, and people see two different results, because it's going to depend on your energy. What's your belief? Do you believe it's going to work? Do you have a relationship built with your ancestors? Are you cleansing? Okay. Are you being specific with your intentions? Are you writing a petition for this ritual? Okay. So those are all the things that make a difference in the type of work that the type of work that you produce. Okay. Because your energy is going to play a major part as well. But I don't want to keep rambling or, anything of that nature. But I just wanted to come on because it's been a while and talk to you guys and talk about this ritual coming up. But, if you guys have any questions, make sure that you reach out to us. You can email us. Our email is customer service at thirdgenerationconjure.com. If you would like to sign up for the ritual, you can find that on our website, which is www.thirdgenerationconjure.com. And also make sure to follow us on our social media platforms. TikTok is the official TGC. Instagram is Third Generation Conjure. Facebook is Third Generation Conjure. And Pinterest is Third Generation Conjure as well. Until next time, guys. Bye bye.